Hello everyone, welcome to Study Quest. Today is 29th August 2025 and in this video I am going to explain Assam Tribune Editorial which will be helpful for your APSC mains exam. Today's article is going to be useful for your GS5 paper and today's article is on remembering Golab Borbora. So you all know that one of the chief architects of Assam transformation from modern outlook was given by Gulab Borbora, and he was a fearless freedom fighter who stood tall during the dark days of emergency, spending 19 months in the prison for raising the voice. And he was the first non-Congress chief minister of Assam, and his legacy remains a vibrant chapter in the state's history. So the government of Assam is celebrating the birth centenary of Golab Borbora, and our honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah is also visiting Guwahati for his birth centenary celebration. So let's see what the article is about and let's start the video. So today is 29 August 2025, Friday, and today's article is about remembering Golab Borbora, and it is written by Abhinav Pankaj Borbora, and he said that the birth centenary of the former Assam Chief Minister gives us an opportunity to remember his politics of integrity, empathy, and justice. So you all know that 100 years ago, a leader was born in Assam who dedicated his life to freedom, justice, and for the common people. And his name was Kolab Borbora. And he was a freedom fighter, voice of the farmers and workers, and the first non-Congress chief minister of Assam. So, in this article, his legacy is mentioned. And from the Quit India movement to the land reforms, Kolhapur's story is not just about politics, but it's our courage. It's all about courage, honesty, and people's power. So let's see what the article is about. So first of all, the Abhinav Pankaj Barbaras said that through this article, a humble attempt has been made to retell the story of his life in politics, to refresh the memory of those who knew him, as well as introduce him to the unfamiliar or to those who are unfamiliar with his legacy. So let's see what he wrote. So first of all, he mentioned about his birth that Golab Borbor was born in Golaghat on 29th August 1925 in a family who were closely associated with the struggle against the British. His great grandfather was Mayaram Borbora, who was an associate of Maniram Diwan in 1857 uprising. And his father was Kamal Borbora, who was also a part of first industrial strike in 1939 against the British owners of the Assam Oil Company. And then he said about what were the later events which influenced his subsequent political outlook. And those were of two important ways. First, it exposed him to the tribulation of the working people, and the origins of the distrust of the Congress can also be traced to his period. And the young Golab Borbora was deeply disturbed when the party directed one of its leader, Kedarnath Goswami, to halt a similar strike he was organizing in Dibrugarh and suspended him. And then soon after, he plunged into freedom struggle. In 1942, he was arrested for participating in Quit India movement, and with it also began his long saga of moving in and out of prisons. And while studying in Calcutta during his years, he was greatly inspired by Ram Manohar Lohia and Jaya Prakash Narayan, and was drawn further to them when they opposed partition. And during the time of independence, Borbora followed them into the newly formed Socialist Party. And Borbora gradually emerged as an influential mass leader, and his statue grew through his involvement in some iconic popular struggles in the early years. So these range from Satyagraha in Doyang demanding land for the landless, through the refinery movement to the 1974 railway strike. And in this process, he rose within the ranks, and in 1965, he was elected as the National General Secretary of Samyukta Socialist Party. Then, in 1968, he became the first opposition candidate from Assam to be elected to the Rajya Sabha. And he, in this election, he was supported by Sudhakanta Bhupen Hazarika, and he earned a name for being a very active parliamentarian. After all these, he spoke on an array of subjects such as the infrastructure development in Northeast, and relations with Israel, and even the need to install fans in the helpers quarters and of MPs. Okay, then he was a part of nationwide group led by JP that tried to challenge the increasingly authoritarian tendency of Indira Gandhi's government in the early 1970s. And when the emergency was imposed, Barbara was also among the first batch who were arrested. And after the restoration of the democracy, the Janata Party formed the power, and in 1977 elections, and Barbara became the first non-Congress chief minister of Assam. So these are the factual data which you should know, that when Barbara became the first non-Congress chief minister of Assam, then Barbara government took many steps to transform the lives of the people, and that took Assam to a new height. And these were like education was made free till class 10, and the scope of free health care was greatly expanded, and subjects which have since become the staple of social justice politics in the state. And also he led the land review on agricultural land was waived for those holding up 10 bighas, and the government initiated an ambitious irrigation scheme, which issues that continue occupy a major place in the farmer state negotiations. And even the small tea patches that dot the front yards of countless homes across the rural Assam, uh, he also started the ASTC night bus service and also the passport centers. So these were all the products of Barbara government, and despite such credentials, Barbara government could not survive long, and it infuriated entrenched economic interests by trying to bring trade and business under the control of the locals. And by attempting to tackle the infiltration problem head on, he also invited the ire of those who allegedly benefited from their votes. And after an inquiry, he ordered revealed 47,658 suspected foreigners in the electoral rolls of just one constituency, and he planned a similar exercise across 60 to 70 seats, and triggering a pushback. And backed by these forces, oppositions and dissidents throw down Assam's first non Congress government, and he might have lost the reins of the government, but Barbara continued to champion the cause of his people. The protest that he led at the Boat Club in New Delhi during the Assam agitation played a major role in directing national attention to the ongoing fight for identity in Assam. And in subsequent decades, he continued to exercise a stronger vigil over society and politics. And the rising specter of terrorism, the rights of the workers, the weakening of the socialism, and the falling ethical standards of those in public life were issues that deeply concerned Barbara's final days. Okay, and in spite of such an illustrious legacy, Barbara has been relegated to the margins of political history, and erasures from public memory is also a political act, and Barbara's memory suffered the same fate at the hands of those humbled by his politics. The Assam government, led by Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sharma, has, however, taken an exceptional step to remember the life, politics, and ideals of Barbara by instituting year-long commemorative programs, including the publication of comprehensive volume on him. And this would not help a newer audience to know who Golab Barbara was, but also shed more lights on the forgotten chapter of Indian politics. This was all about today's article, and from this article, I have framed a question for GS5 Assam. And the question is Kolab Borbора's political journey reflects the rise of regional aspirations and the assertion of the people centric governance in Assam. Critically examine his contribution to Assam's political history, social reforms, and democratic events. So, this answer you have to write on your own. I'm not giving you any standard answer today because this is a common topic for you guys, where because you have studied about Kolab Borbora in your prelims also. And in the article also I have said so many things. Now in the so I will just give you a gist that what you can write in the intro part. So in the intro part you can start like this, that Kolab Porvara was the first non-congress chief minister of Assam, and he is remembered as a socialist leader and a strong voice of regional aspirations. Then in the body part you may give his role in India's democratic and socialist movements. Like he was associated with the Socialist Party and later with the Janata Party, and he was deeply influenced by Ram Manohar Lohia and his active participation in freedom struggle and post-independence socialist politics also. Then you can also mention about his stand against emergency, voicing for the democratic rights. And second, you can give a heading on his contribution as a chief minister that I have mentioned, or it is was written in the article, that he was the first non-Congress government of Assam and he represented a shift towards alternative politics. And he advocated for agrarian reforms, land rights for peasants, and protection of tribal communities. Also, you have seen in the article that he took measures for education and the rural development through his tenure. Though his tenure was short-lived, he started the ASTC night bus service and also the passport center. So these things you can write in your answer. Then you can also write about his regional aspirations and identity politics, that his leadership reflected Assam's desire for self-assertion against domination of national parties, and also he supported federalism and decentralization in the governance. And one thing also you can mention that what challenges and limitations he faced, that his government collapsed within a year due to political instability and defections, and it could not fully implement welfare measures due to turbulent political environment, because there was Assam agitation was going on, issues were there, center state tension was also there. And then you can conclude your answer by saying that Kola Borbora's political journey, though was very short in administrative power, but it left a lasting impact on Assam's political consciousness, and his socialist ideals, people-centric vision, and challenges to one-party dominance laid the foundation for the growth of regional political identity in Assam, and he remains a symbol of democratic resistance and alternative leadership in Assam's history. So this was all about today's article, and today's question is this on Gulab Borbora's political journey and about him. So write your answer and get it checked by your mentors or your friends, and we will meet in the next video. Till then, take care.